Here, propane combusts or reacts with oxygen gas to yield carbon dioxide and water. Again, take a moment to recognize that the equation is balanced. Calculate the mass of water produced when 70.0 grams of propane reacts with 90.0 grams of oxygen gas and assuming a 100% yield. No excess reactant is named, and we cannot imply a limiting reactant. Thus, we must solve for the limiting reactant. There are two strategies for solving the limiting reactant, which I have explained in earlier videos. I'll choose the method where we convert each reactant to one product. Notice how there are two products. In this example, we can choose to convert each reactant to either product, but you have to convert to the same product. This is how we'll be able to accurately compare the reactants. We'll convert to water here since the question is asking specifically about water. You can pause here and try these calculations. And here it is. Notice I convert both reactants to water. Since we're interested in water, this makes the most sense. Let's take a moment to discuss the processes. These steps and concepts are described in earlier videos. First, the mass of the reactants are converted to moles using their respective molar masses. Next, the moles of each reactant are converted to the moles of water. Again, we have to convert to the same product for comparison. Finally, the moles of water are converted to the mass of water using water's molar mass. Here, oxygen gas yields the lowest amount of product. Therefore, oxygen gas is the limiting reactant and propane is the excess reactant. Notice that the reactant with the larger mass is limiting and runs out. You cannot determine the limiting reactant from the initial masses because the limiting reactant is dependent on the mole ratios. So 40.5 grams of water can be produced when 90.0 grams of oxygen and 70.0 grams of propane react, again assuming a 100% yield. How many grams of propane will be in excess? Again, you can pause here and try this calculation. Notice I used the limiting reactant O2 to find the grams of propane that reacts. Here, 24.8 grams of propane reacts with 90.0 grams of oxygen gas. Recall, there was 70.0 grams of propane initially. I'll subtract the 24.8 grams of propane that reacts. That leaves 45.2 grams of propane that remain.